Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, August 30th, and this is the Futures in 5. I am running a little late today. Got a lot of things going on here on the West Coast and getting ready to head back to Chicago in just a bit. So this will look like our Futures in 5 midday update. So we've got our spaces already in motion here, and so let's just jump right into our charts and we can look at them live in the formation. This was the image that we have in the morning. This upshot to 29.14 is what I've had here. Now we're looking at 29.28, really probably 29.24 if we get that far. What we are looking at, though, is a failure into prior congestion. And so now, as this looks in this space, what we've done is shift into this downward motion. This is going to be the first place that buyers start to move and say, hey, we want to recapture this area. If it does, then fantastic. If not, it's going to move down into this secondary space right in here. And so that's what we're going to be looking for in the morning. I did believe this was going to be a topping formation this morning in our live trading room. We did talk about this bounce back into these regions, giving us resistance areas up at 29.13. That's the trigger space that we're short at. So here, many of the traders are short that are working with me, but taking a little bit of profit as we get into this area. And certainly as it rises back up into the space, the stops become break-even opportunity events if we don't want to leave with any losses. So that's what we're looking at here, potential continuation down into the space. This was very curved, and when this motion is curved, it has a tendency to collapse on itself, and so that is really essentially what we're looking at. Notice the big wicks. Those wicks tell us that we have got cross currents in the motion, and we really want to pay attention to cross currents in that space. All right, taking a look here. Oops, this was our early morning area. We were looking at 76.91 as the new resistance zone. It stopped shy of that 76.81. My thought, of course, was because we are in this space and we have technical divergence and it's curvy linear, that this double topping area was going to be a resistance zone. First trade I took, I had my stop at 76.78. It did break through it, but then I have since reshorted in that space, and really our first target was 76.65, so that is where we're looking at. As you can see, there is bullish action as long as we can hold the 76.50 area, but this topping becomes very likely in these spaces. What we have to see is that we lose enough to shift through the deeper areas of support after yesterday's explosive move to the upside. Buyers are still going to get involved here, folks. That's why this primary target zone ends up being the place to watch if you're short trying to work from an intraday perspective. Buyers looking for trend are going to be buying down here at 76.49. So you have to be very careful holding short. You absolutely cannot let it get up over these highs and still continue to short. It's going to deliver something that you're not going to like at all. The YM very sideways in the space. You'll notice that this one was giving us the tight range of motion, now dropping right into this support area that we are looking at, 26,049. That is a primary bounce zone, but you'll notice it's not behaving at all the way the ES and the NQ are behaving. It's behaving much more passively, and so it may indeed fade through this zone and bring us back down into the 25,000 area. I am not participating in this particular trade, but you can see that buyers have come in here every single time, and each time we come in, we have less strength holding the chart there. So it could be the space where we say, you know, as we've come into this 1, 2, 3 times, we say, you know what, no more for me. That's really my thought. My thought is, hey, listen, I'll try it the first time, I'll try it the second time. I usually will not try it the third time, particularly if it has negative drift. I will wait for it to get up over its break so that I can move that area, and that looks like about 26,105. Oil doing very nicely as it came up into our resistance zones near 70, right? It now has resistance up at 70.54 in terms of a potential move, and then there's more up ahead at 71.27. But right now, this is really where a ton of resistance has been over time, and I'm not really sure that we can see it on this particular contract. But what we do know from John Kemp is that the hedgers are trading out of their longs, but they're not adding new shorts. They're just trimming their longs, and that usually means that pullbacks are going to continue to give us buy zones. We're sitting in a very divergent pattern, right? And so we will see reversals. Notice I said watch for potential intraday reversal patterns as we get into the highs, and that really is what we are looking at, intraday reversals that hold support. So again, we're looking at support action events as we come down into this area. This is not a short. Everybody's been buying here. This is a 4-hour formation. And so everyone is buying in this space. That's what we want to watch for. If it loses it the first time it comes down, we're going to find buyers. That's not going to likely be the case if we come up here again and fail to break down. Then we'll see some selling into the lower edge. But right now, these pullbacks going to give us buy zones, primarily bullish action. Last thing that we'll take a look at is gold. We talked about this area 1202, 1203, and it came into the zone. This was the region. Actually, I had this message here yesterday, and we were all the way up here. I said, hey, you know, we've got cross currents. Very likely that we come into the support zone. What happens at support? Well, people buy at 1202, 1203, but what we'll notice is that they're not able to get up over 1208, and the formation in general is fairly bearish. It's a relief bounce that's failing, and so if we bounce at 1203, but we can't get back up over 1208, chances are we're going to run down into this 1193 area, 1195 area. That's going to be next on the list. All right, that's it for the futures in 5. Good luck trading today, and hope you've enjoyed the midday report.